Welcome to Lay's Little Golden Books. I hope you all enjoyed today's story, and maybe the grown-ups will remember it from their own childhood. Walt Disney's Donald Duck and Santa Claus, told by Annie North Bedford, adapted by Al Dempster. A Simon & Schuster Little Golden Book from 1952. Donald Duck bent over a spread-out map, looking busy as could be. "Wooden shoes," he murmured, and he made a mark on the map. "Woolen socks," he muttered, and he made another mark. "What in the world are you doing?" asked Mickey Mouse when he stepped in to call. "I have a wonderful plan," said Donald. "I've decided to play a trick on Santa Claus with my supersonic plane." "Look here," Donald said with a wave at the map. "On Christmas Eve, I'll fly around the world just ahead of Santa Claus. I'll hang up my stocking or set out a shoe. I've found out just what the children do in every country I touch. So Santa will leave me presents all around the world. And after Santa's been there, I'll drop back and pick them up. What a plain load of toys I'll have!" Donald chuckled at the thought. "I don't know," said Mickey, shaking his head. "Santa Claus is pretty smart. Don't you think he'll find you out?" "Never," scoffed Donald. "Not with all the millions of kids." "Good luck," said Mickey. "I have to get home to wrap up Christmas gifts. Merry Christmas, Donald, if I don't see you till then." "Merry Christmas, Mickey. I'll ask you over to see all my toys when I get back," Donald said. The day before Christmas, away Donald flew in his plane that went faster than sound. He did not see the little elf who tucked himself into a corner of the cockpit and curled up there for a nap. Donald had a busy day. He left a sheaf of hay for Santa's reindeer beside a little Swedish house. He trimmed a Tannenbaum in Germany. He set out wooden shoes in Holland and sandals called zapatas in Spain. He hung up specially long stockings. He wrote letters to Santa and burned them in fireplaces so Santa would think he lived in the houses. And he never saw that little elf who skipped along behind him wherever he went and scampered back into the plane just before he flew away. By the time Donald finished his travels, Christmas Eve was over all around the world. Donald had just time for a nap and lunch, and he had to take off again to pick up his Christmas loot. The little elf had not paused to sleep. He hurried straight to the North Pole to turn in his report. Santa Claus looked serious as he glanced down the list the elf had brought. He murmured, fingering his beard. "Looks as if this young man needs to be taught a lesson." Then off went the reindeer, off went the sleigh. Another Merry Christmas was on its way. When Donald came around on his pickup trip, it was clear that Santa Claus had been around too. Wherever he stopped, children were racing about with new sleds, new mittens, new toys of all kinds. Here was the house in Sweden where Donald had left the sheaf of wheat for Santa's reindeer. There was nothing in its place that looked like a toy, just a bundle of switches for a naughty boy. At another stop in his stocking's toe, Donald found nothing but a lump of coal. So it went the world around. A couple of times he found an elf-sized note saying, "Wrong address. See Donald Duck, Dopey Drive, Hollywood." Donald grew sadder, stop by stop. All around him, children with new toys were wishing each other Merry Christmas. A couple of children even offered to share their toys with him. Donald shook his head at that. "No thanks," he mumbled. "I don't deserve it." And he crept sadly back to his plane. When he landed at the airport near his home, all Donald wanted was to sneak into his house without anyone seeing him, especially Mickey Mouse. But Mickey and Minnie came running to meet him as he turned toward his house. "Merry Christmas, Donald!" they cried. "We thought you'd never get home to open all those packages waiting inside." "Packages?" cried Donald. "For me?" There were lots of presents and a big Christmas tree, but there was a note from Santa, too. "Dear Donald," it said, "whatever you do, remember Santa Claus is watching you." The end.